All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are unpacking Iman Gaji's modern playbook for creating and selling digital products. So, you can pretty much forget all those old, super saturated methods you've heard about. We're diving into a whole new approach that honestly, it kind of levels the playing field for anyone who wants to build a real, legitimate income online.
So Gaji kicks things off with this quote, which is, it's pretty bold, right? He's basically begging you to stop using what he calls prehistoric business models. Now, to be clear, he's not saying something like dropshipping is totally dead. But what he is saying is that the gold rush for it, that's over. The real opportunity, the one where you can still get that first mover advantage, is happening right now in a totally different space. So let's dig into what that actually is.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the new gold rush, finding your winning idea, how to build fast and test even faster, the traffic trifecta, and finally, from information to action. Let's get into it.
All right, Section 1, the new gold rush. Let's really get into why the entire landscape of online business has just completely changed.
This slide really lays out the core shift perfectly. On one side, you've got the old models like dropshipping or Amazon FBA. Think about it. So much competition, and you needed a huge budget and serious tech skills just to get in the game. But on the other side, you've got this new model, digital products combined with AI. Gaji calls this the great equalizer because it literally just smashes those old barriers to entry. The door's wide open now.
So what exactly is a digital product? Well, it's basically anything that's created, delivered, and used entirely online. Think ebooks, planners, templates, that kind of stuff. Now, here's the magic part. You create it one time, and you can sell it forever, infinitely. Just let that sink in for a second. There's no inventory to manage, no shipping costs, nothing. It's pretty much pure profit on every single sale you make.
Okay, next up, and this is maybe the most important part of the whole process, finding your winning idea. Seriously, this is where most people get it wrong before they even start. If you nail this, you're building your business on solid rock. But if you mess this part up, honestly, nothing else you do is going to matter.
And this analogy from Gaji just says it all, doesn't it? Picking the wrong topic is exactly like building a house on a weak foundation. It doesn't matter how great your marketing is or how beautiful your product looks. If nobody wants it, the whole thing is just doomed to fail. The big mistake people make is creating something they think is cool and then hoping people will buy it. The secret is to flip that around.
So this is the entire four-step playbook in a nutshell. First, topic selection and validation. Then you create your store page. After that, you create the product itself, the MVP, and we'll talk about that. And finally, you generate traffic. But I really want you to pay attention to step 1. It's not just topic selection, it's topic and validation. That's the secret sauce right there.
Okay, so how do you actually validate an idea? Well, there are a few manual ways to do it. Think of it like being a detective. You can head over to a site like ClickBank and check what they call a gravity score. It's just a simple way to see what's in high demand. Or, and this is a great one, you can go to the Facebook ads library, type in some keywords, and see what your competitors are spending money on. Pro tip, if an ad has been running for a long time, it's because it's profitable. Simple as that. You can even just snoop around on Etsy and see what's making the most money. The proof is already out there.
But you could also just let AI do all that work for you. All that manual research is smart, but it can take forever. This is where the playbook gets really modern. Instead of spending days or weeks digging through all that data, you can just let an AI tool do the heavy lifting and find you a profitable idea in, minutes.
All right, Section 3, build fast, test faster. So, at this point, you've got a validated idea and you're ready to create your product. But this is where we have to tackle the biggest trap that almost every single beginner falls into. And this quote really gets to the heart of the whole philosophy here. The only way to lose is to stop spinning. Gaji's analogy is that this whole process is like a slot machine, but you get unlimited free spins. Every single time you test an idea, one of two things happens. You either make sales, which is great, or you get data. If it doesn't sell, it's not a failure, it's just information. You just take that information and spin again. The only way you can truly lose is if you give up.
This whole idea is called the rapid testing methodology. It's all about launching what's called a minimum viable product, or an MVP, as fast as humanly possible. You have to forget about perfection. Seriously, perfection is your enemy here. The goal is just to get something out there to see if it works, to get that proof of concept. You're not trying to create a masterpiece, you're just trying to answer one question. Will people actually pay for this?
And creating this MVP is honestly ridiculously fast these days. Step 1, you can use an AI tool to generate all the content for, say, an ebook. Step 2, you hop over to a free tool like Canva, pick a professional-looking template, and just paste the content in. And then, step 3, launch. You get it on your store page and you start testing. The whole thing can literally be done in a couple of hours.
All right, section 4, the traffic trifecta. Okay, so you've got your validated idea, you've got your MVP product ready to go, but a great product that no one ever sees is basically worthless, right? So now we have to talk about getting eyes on your offer. And Gaji breaks this down into a really smart 3-part strategy.
He calls it the traffic trifecta. Here's how it works. First, you start with influencer arbitrage. That's just a fancy way of saying you partner with micro-influencers and pay them a commission on sales. That's your starting point because it costs you nothing up front. Second, you take the profits you make from the influencers and reinvest that into paid ads on Google or Facebook. That's how you scale. And third, the long-term play is organic content, building an audience on social media. He calls this one the unlimited money glitch.
And for that influencer piece, there's a specific formula that works incredibly well. It's a simple 3-story sequence. Story 1 is just a survey or a poll, something to warm up the audience and get them curious, but you don't even mention the product yet. Story 2 is where you talk about the method or show some results. You're giving proof. Then, and only then, in Story 3, do you hit them with the call to action, create a little urgency, and drop the link. It just feels so much more natural than a typical ad.
Okay, on to our final section, from information to action. Now, we've covered the entire roadmap, the what and the how. But honestly, this final part might be the most important of all, because it deals with the one real barrier that stops most people.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Information without action is worthless. I mean, you could have the most perfect plan in the world, but if you never actually put it into practice, it doesn't mean a thing. The gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it, that's where most people get stuck.
And that brings us to the real takeaway here. The biggest thing holding you back isn't the market, it isn't the tools, it isn't the competition. It's the ceiling you put on yourself. It's all the mental roadblocks, the excuses, the need for things to be perfect, that idea that you'll start when the time is right. That time never comes.
So, we've laid out the entire skeleton, the whole structure of this modern playbook. The tools are here, the roadmap is clear, the barriers to entry have never been lower in history. So, we'll just leave you with this one final thought. What's stopping you?